G'day guys, today I'm going to be sharing my tips for tummy time. Hi, I'm Ali, I'm a mum of two. I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-week-old. So I wanted to share what I've used to help tummy time. So what is tummy time? Tummy time is literally lying on their tummy. So whether it's on the floor, whether it's on your chest, whether it's on your arm, that is tummy time. It is so important though, because it helps to strengthen up the back, the neck muscles, the arm muscles, which then leads to rolling, crawling, walking. It's also really important for head control. I can still remember when my daughter was able to support her own head and I didn't have to hold it with my hand. It made a really big difference. The other positive from doing tummy time is to try and avoid plagiocephaly, which is basically a flattened head. So with babies sleeping on their backs, their head can get a bit flattened. So by having some tummy time, it just takes the weight off the back of their head. I've got a few other tips to avoid plagiocephaly. So I'll talk about that at the end if you want to stick around till then. Otherwise, we'll stick with the tummy time tips for now. So 5 positions to get started with: over your arm, on your chest, on the floor, on your shoulder, or on your lap. All right, so let's go through each of those individually. First off, putting the baby on your arm. This is a really good one that I find. Dave does this one really well. Next is on your chest. Then on your shoulder, which is a really good position for burping. Lap. And the floor. With my daughter, who's 2, we didn't start on the floor straight away. I think that's being like a first-time mum. I just did a lot of on my chest exercises. Whereas with my son, you know, in the 2nd week, we started doing some tummy time on the floor. That's certainly something I've deliberately done differently. She didn't really enjoy tummy time, and I think it's just because she wasn't exposed to it right from the start. Whereas him, we've exposed it right from the start, and he doesn't mind tummy time at all. So when I'm putting him down on the floor, what I do is I tuck his elbows under his shoulders, and that just helps to prop him up so that he's got a head start on lifting his head. Another option is rolling up a towel and putting that under their chest. Or we've got a baby gym, and with the baby gym came this boomerang shape that they can kind of sit on, and it actually has some toys that they can play with, which he's not ready for just yet, but they're there for the future. So I'll go into a little bit more detail here. So this baby gym mat is in this boomerang shape, and it has got these toys that they can play with. So then they can lie there and look up. The rolled up towel is really easy to do. The easiest one I find is tucking the elbows under the shoulders. So in the hospital, we were taught to do it a minute for each week. So in the 1st week, they go for a minute, 2nd week, 2 weeks, up to 10 weeks when they can do 10 minutes. I use that as a rough guide, and just depending on the situation and what kind of mood he's in, how long we do tummy time for. What I found with my daughter is it was best to do really small bursts throughout the day. So a tip I got was after nappy changes. So change the nappy, be on the change mat and just be on their tummy for a little bit. I decided to not do it so closely associated with the nappy change because she was really happy getting a nappy change. So she didn't enjoy tummy time. I didn't want to associate the two together. So afterwards we'd come and do some stuff on the floor, and even we started with like 10-15 seconds. This was after 6 weeks. She really wasn't enjoying it, so we did really short bursts like that. A must is always to supervise your child when they're doing tummy time. And I even get involved. So I will get down there with him and have my face really close, because they can only see about this kind of distance as a newborn. So getting really close, big facial expressions, to encourage him to lift his head up, and then I go from either side to side so that he's actually head up and turning both directions. I also involve his sister. She loves to get down there as well, and so we all do tummy time together as a family. Some toys to help with tummy time. Like I said, my son's 5 weeks, so we've added in a black and white contrast book, which helps with their vision. So initially they've got really blurry vision and they can't see colors. They're just seeing kind of black and white. So this high contrast book helps for them to be able to focus. This high contrast book they can focus on. So I open that in front on one side, and I've also utilized a mirror. I just bought it off eBay. It's a little travel mirror, and I've got it on the side now, but as he gets higher, we'll sit upright. The other things I've tried with my daughter is a rattle, little toys like that, a puppet so that they're looking at either side. I even just used a sock as a puppet and just went like this so she'd look either side. Here are 4 individual video tutorials on DIY sensory toys. So the DIY sensory hoop and attaching items to that for them to play with. These sensory book that you can actually split up and have individual cards, as well as this ribbon pull, which was a lot of fun and easy to make, and it's just using items you've got at home, as well as these DIY plastic shakers. The other really big tip is choose your timing. So your baby wants to be happy, relaxed. For my kids, they couldn't do tummy time straight after they'd had a breastfeed because the milk would just come up. So I waited before doing tummy time. I make sure that they're in a really happy mood and wanting to do it. If it's not going well, then we don't do it too long, and then next time we'll do it for longer. So I've found choosing a good time for my baby will increase the duration of tummy time. As I said, supervision is really important, and that is because that they can begin rolling. My son rolled from his tummy to his back when he was 2 weeks old, and I couldn't believe it. My daughter didn't do that until she was well after 6 weeks, where she was doing tummy time and rolled to her side. So each child was different. I was like, whoa, I can't believe you're doing that already. As a second time mum, I've learned these 3 lessons. Start early. Start early, getting them actually on the floor. Two, personally, I find earlier in the day is better. Start early in the morning when everyone's fresh. Get your older child involved so that they're part of the tummy time, which then makes it a fun family activity. Another benefit of tummy time is he's actually latching better on my right breast. When he initially was breastfeeding, it wasn't as good on that side, and I believe that was how he was positioned in the uterus. But with tummy time and getting greater neck strength, he's able to latch a lot better on that side. So here is what else I do to avoid misshapen head. 1, in the bassinet, changing ends. So with the bassinet, when putting my daughter in, I changed either end. So each couple of days, I'd switch the position she was in. I didn't bother moving the bassinet. I just put her down the opposite end. And that meant she was turning her head in the opposite direction. Tummy time, like I've mentioned, like this video is on, is really important. The other thing I've done is with I breastfeed, so making sure that I'm breastfeeding both sides. But if I was bottle feeding, then I would try and swap sides so they're turning their head to the other direction. The other thing I do is I carry in a wrap. So there's no pressure on the back of the head. The other exercise I've done just to help with turning the head is holding him in my arms like this, making eye contact, and then taking my head to one side and taking him to the other side so that he turns his head.
Well done. Over here. Yay! Clever boy. Clever boy. Yay! Yeah. Oh, darling, is it fun to roll off your tummy? Yeah, you like it? You do?
Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.